Let's look at how to set up Firebase. Firebase is a cloud service available from Google that's free for our purposes. Firebase includes what's called a real-time database and the ability to do what's called OAuth authentication. To start a Firebase project, you will need a Google account. Once you're logged into Google, go to firebase.google.com. If you hit the Get Started button, it will list the available projects that you have if you already have any set up. I already have one set up called Ionic Chat, but I'll go ahead and set up another one. I'll click Add Project, and I'll type My Ionic Chat. Once I click Create Project, it will start a new real-time database that I can tie to my application. While that's working, I also need to open up the code that's inside of the Ionic folder for the project that I've downloaded. If you're in Sublime Text, you can hit Open if you're on OS X or Open Folder. From here, navigate to where you downloaded the Ionic Chat master repository and hit Open, and you'll have all of the source code available to you. Inside of the src folder, inside of app, there's a file called app.module.ts. And I know it looks kind of like a mess on my editor, but I want you to scroll down and find where it says export const firebase config. Each of these are the keys and locations of your real-time database. You can think of these as like the password as well as the locations of all of the data that's available across the web. So what I'm going to do is click Add Firebase to your web app. And I'm only going to need to do this once for every single project that communicates on the same chat channel. I'll need to copy this API key over each of the sections inside of the Firebase config. And then save it. There's one last thing I need to do to this project. I actually need to get this to allow me to configure for what's called open authentication. If I go to the sidebar menu over here and then click on authentication, it'll allow me to set up what's called a sign-in method. When I hit set up sign-in method, I can enable Google authentication. Notice that you can also enable Facebook, Twitter, and GitHub authentication, but for this project, we're just going to use Google authentication, which means that anybody using a Google account will be able to sign into your app using their Google account. I'll hit enable and then hit save. And after that, I'm done. To make sure that this entire thing is working, I'm going to want to launch my Ionic application. So back in my command terminal, after I've already installed all of the packages by running the Ionic command inside of the Ionic Chat master folder, I can type Ionic space lab. What this will do is it will compile my project and build it. After it's built, it'll open a preview window that is a live preview of your application. Anytime that you make changes, that live preview will update. And the live preview is going to open inside of a browser window on your computer so that you don't even need to have a mobile device connected to work on your application. If everything went well, you should see a welcome page with a login button.